Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And we are so excited to be back with you. Last week we had to skip, had a little bit of family medical emergency. Happy to tell you we're back and ready for action. And as always, we like to set the tone, and we want it to be a tone of peace and love and kindness and gratitude. So we hope you're ready because we're going to have a very interesting conversation today.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much again for everyone that's returning. And if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just want to quickly remind you that at the end of this chat, we hope that you all like our chat and you hit that thumb icon. And then if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and you can hit the bell notification so that will notify you when our chats are ready to be viewed. Don't forget that if you subscribe, you may not get those notifications. So you have to hit the bell notification.
Yes.
Okay, and today's tea we are drinking is a great one by Davison's. And it is...
And it's a Tulsi tea.
Yes,
and
Tulsi
we love
tea.
Tulsi.
And you can read what the...
the ingredients. Yes. So this is a mango peach Tulsi tea. And the Tulsi is Chrisma, Rama, and Vanna blend with Rooibos. I knew eventually I'd get the right one.
And Rooibos is naturally decaf.
There you go, which is good to know. So this is a mango peach flavor. And, you know, it's a little warm outside. However, it's still good enough for tea. Smells delicious.
Does
smells
smell
divine.
very good.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's good. I like it.
Oh, it's very good.
Very fruity and flavorful.
Yes.
That's what we like. Fruity and flavorful.
As you're drinking it, the aromas of the peach mango, it just hits your nose and you're like, oh, I like this a lot. All right, so let's get our party started. So as always, our thoughts and prayers go out to the universe. There's lots of chaos going on in the world, and I swear every day it becomes way more chaotic. You know how you say to yourself, it can't get any worse than this. And then, it's worse. So we, for just a little bit of time, want to hang out together with you and be in a very positive environment and talk about life and things that are going on in the world. So last weekend was the last weekend of June, and in San Francisco, they did the June Pride Parade. I didn't attend in person. I watched it on television. I love the colors. As you can tell, I'm a color girl. I love lots of colors. And the characters, their dress, their dance, it was just all that.
Full of joy and life and colors.
Yes.
And I was actually this past Saturday, I was in Monterey.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't know, but we were towards the end of it, but they had something for Pride as well. They had the plaza and they had all these booths, and then the people were taking pictures and all the different flags and stuff. So that was nice as well. Monterey had their own little thing to recognize Pride.
Absolutely. So we here, we're in the Santa Clara area, real close to San Jose. In San Jose, in August, we will have a Pride Parade. So we'll keep you attuned to what's going on, and as we hear more about the planning, we'll let you know. All right. So every week we attempt to do something related to our children. And last week we talked a lot about social media and how it's influencing our children and mental health and things like that. So over the past week, I had the opportunity to sit down with my nephew, and somehow we got around to life when I was young versus when he was young versus his baby sister. And I made a comment, I am so grateful they did not have cell phones with cameras when I was young, because I remember going to clubs, dancing in the clubs, dancing up on the bar.
I didn't go that far. I did get up on the platform where people can dance, but not at the bar.
Now I got on the bar. because I was just, it was one of the places back in the day, they used to do these little routines where the servers would get up on the,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, they would get up on the bar and sort of like Coyote
Ugly.
with
Yes.
Tyra Banks. Sort of like that. We didn't do the river dance or anything like that, but we would just kind of dance. And then they would help you down. But, fun things. So my nephew said to me that he had a little bit of what I grew up with, in that he is 21. He said, but my baby sister, she has had social media all her life.
Yes.
And the one comment that he made that I really want to share and attune us all to, he said, when I did what I did, or he did what he did, it was a fleeting moment. Everything she has done since she has been alive has been captured and put up online somewhere. He goes, parents don't think about it. You take a picture. Oh, and that's such a cute picture of my baby. And you post it.
Yeah, you're right. Now I can tell, yes, because now I think about it. So your nephew's younger sister, you're right. Everything they do, they want to document that on social media so that everyone else can see what they've been doing every step of their way.
Right.
But for us, we're kind of like, you're right. Your nephew was, because my son is 20 and I'm thinking about, he didn't have a cell phone till he was in 5th grade. And that was a flip phone, only so that he could know if we were going to be late picking him up. It didn't have any data. He couldn't scroll social media or anything.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking about that.
You don't think about that. And so, and like he said that if, say she and another girl had a disagreement, my age, it would be like, I'll see you after school. We talk smack. And after school, we may, have like a little altercation. I may push her, she may push me.
Right.
But say like that was Monday. By Wednesday, we were girlfriends again. Okay. He said with him, if he had an altercation, kind of same thing. You have the altercation, you work through it, it's done. Her experience is that if she has an altercation, somebody captures it on film, they upload it. So every time she has a situation, they're like, are you going to do what you did the last time?
Oh,
it never dies.
Or what will happen is, I've noticed younger kids, if they have like disputes or arguments, they'll post it on social media without actually putting the name of the person. And they'll kind of put it like a question, but not really. Do you think that blah, blah, blah should be done this way, blah, blah, blah? But kind of like alluding to a situation that they're involved in, but not really, so people can't really guess who the person is. Right. But they still have to post it. You're right. Exactly.
Right. So, that was another aha moment. And then the last thing that, he said was, when she becomes an adult and she is looking for a job, her social media will become a part of that research and evaluation. Whereas with me, it was based on my conversation and my abilities and my past performance.
Yes, and how well you answered the questions.
Yes.
And how good you were at solving problems and analytics and everything like that.
Not about, I had an altercation when I was 12 and I punched someone. And I thought to myself, that has to be really, really hard. So my suggestion to parents is, I know you want to capture these special moments. Try and figure out how to do it privately, not just post it so the world can see it if you're going to do that. And when you're at home with your children, unplug. Put a plate near the front door and you say, when you come home, from 6 to 8 p.m. or whatever, everybody unplugs. We're going to come home. We're going to relax. We're going to get out of our school clothes. We're going to get comfortable. Maybe you have a conversation about what your day was like. Maybe you watch a TV show together. You have dinner together. But you do something to just stop. My niece, what she said was, it's like, she goes, it's like, can you imagine like a bug in your ear and it's like, nee, 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 nee. That's social media because it's never quiet.
Yeah, it's really great you say that. But it's easier said than done.
Oh, I know.
As you know, these families there are families I've seen on real life TVs, like reality shows where they do that.
Yeah.
And you should see the fuss and the nastiness that these kids get to when they can't be on their cell phone.
Yeah.
Because they need to know exactly what everything is being done with their friends.
Right.
Minute
Every
by
minute.
Minute by minute.
Yeah.
And if they're not like being able to see on their cell phone, they're like they're bored. They have no idea how to entertain themselves or occupy the downtime when there's no social media.
Yeah.
So it's it is hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's hard.
It's hard.
But how about for parents that are thinking about having kids, or kids that are just being born? Let's start there and see how long we can delay allowing our kids, little bug
There's
kids.
your favorite. He only comes here when she comes here. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. But
yeah.
how about let's try and not get our kids addicted to it? Like when my son was younger, when your kids were younger, we would go to restaurants.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have social media, no iPad to watch movies.
No.
We would have like things, crayons and
the
coloring things.
The pads on the table, the menu pads for kids would be, they would give them a little box of crayons and they would sit there and they would color. And if they were really pretty, the proprietors would post them in the restaurant.
Yes, and I can't tell you how many boxes full of these crayons we had, missing colors that we wanted.
Yes, yes.
So how about try that, or occupy them with drawing or other things like puzzles, or just even stuffed animals, or anything besides a screen that has movies playing, because that's how they get addicted at such a young age. I just can't imagine my son having
and even along the same line, it's going to get a little bit more difficult now with AI, because AI, you can recreate people, you can recreate voices, you can, there's so many things that you can do. I was watching a movie while I was at the hospital with my husband, and it was about you hear about these people who go after seniors. Well, it's called The Beekeeper with Jason. I love him. I think he's just so gorgeous. And what they do is they hack into the computer, and then they pretend that they're helping you and all that good stuff. And they use technology to just extract all your money. And please be careful, especially with social media and AI, because it's shifting a lot. So if you get any kind of communication, if your children especially get communication where they think, my girlfriend said something, don't be reactive. Get off of social media, pick up a phone and call and say, did you really say that? And if they didn't do it, then you now know, okay, I have to be careful with this, because social media it's just integral to their lives. So as parents, see what you can do to pull them back.
Yes.
So my nephew blew my mind, so we thought we'd share that with you, because I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So as I shared with you, my husband had a medical emergency, and so it got me to start thinking about health challenges. So when you don't feel well, what do you gravitate to? Do you go to Western medicine, or you go to Eastern medicine? So let's talk a little bit about Western medicine. Western medicine is a system in which medical doctors and other healthcare professionals, such as nurses, pharmacists, and therapists, treat symptoms and diseases using drugs, radiation, or surgery. Western medicine may include blood tests, urine tests, x-rays, and imaging scans. Cancer treatment like chemotherapy and radiation, that's what I was thinking of. So Western medicine is all about predefined
symptoms,
symptoms,
right,
and predefined actions. If you get A, you get C.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if one person is 7'10", 300 pounds, and another person is 4'4", 96 pounds. They do the same thing. They prescribe the same prescriptions. It's like a one-step all catch all.
Because that's what they're taught in medical school. They're taught about all the different symptoms and what name can we give those symptoms. Is it cancer? Is it lupus? Is it this disease, that disease? Okay, now I've identified what disease it is, what the name of it is. These are the particular drugs I can now prescribe them for these particular symptoms.
Right.
So that's what they're taught. That's what conventional medicine is.
Right. Now, Eastern medicine is Oriental medicine, where practitioners use natural forms of treatment that typically includes herbs, acupuncture, nutrition, mind-body exercises, i.e. like Tai Chi or yoga, or massage. This is also known as holistic healthcare, which is a form of medicine that treats the whole person, not just the physical self, but also the emotional, spiritual, and mental facets as well. There's also, I never say this right, so you might have to correct me, Ayurveda, which is complete medicine, which includes a healing system, philosophy, and a way of life. It focuses on cause and not just the symptoms, unlike Western medicine. So they are like, you have a headache. What have you been doing? What have you been outside and you're around a tree and you know you're allergic to pine trees and you just got through walking under a pine tree? They ask questions like that so that they can treat the whole body. So here, practitioners review like, what are you eating? What's your lifestyle choices to determine if they can reverse or slow down the illness. That's Eastern medicine.
Treat the cause rather than the symptom.
Yes. And that, for me, is what I love. So when a medical doctor says you have hypertension, you have to go on this medication, I always ask questions like, well, what else is there available? What else can I do? How can I live a good, productive life without going on 13 to 15 medications? Before my mom passed last year, she was on so many medications. I mean, we had to buy those, you know, those trays that say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yes.
okay? And then it goes pre-breakfast, breakfast, after breakfast. I mean, the thing is huge.
It was full.
It's full, and it's full of all these different medications to make sure that we are managing the symptoms, not the cause. Because what we did at a certain point is I found a doctor who was sort of a cross Eastern Western. He was a Western trained doctor. However, he was open to conversations about Eastern practitioners and Eastern medicine and Eastern approaches to what is causing the problem. Not the problem, but what is causing the problem.
Right, exactly. And that's what we really, well, coming from me, who is a health coach, I come
Yes.
from the holistic side of it.
Yes.
So I'd rather treat the cause than the symptoms. Instead of squelching the symptoms, let's
Right.
just open up to the cause and try and remove the cause.
Yes. And one of the other things is that Western medicine, did you know that when you go see a doctor and that doctor gives you a prescription and say that prescription doesn't work, instead of that doctor taking that prescription away, most times they add another prescription. They're creating these cocktails.
Or they might actually up the dosage of that
Yes.
prescription.
Yes, that too. So they're going through and they're doing that. And the doctors, they just write the prescriptions. The pharmacists, they just fill the prescriptions. It is your responsibility as a patient to go back and ask those difficult questions of, are any of these medications fighting? Is it cool to take medicine A and medicine D? Should I take them at the same time? Should I take them separate? I think that is deplorable that the doctor who's writing these prescriptions is not more responsible for the combination of the prescriptions that they write. And you have to make an appointment with your pharmacist and say, this is what I'm on. Can all this be taken together?
Sometimes I feel like doctors, the physicians, they probably may not even really know what is counteracting with other medications.
Mm-hmm.
They're just knowing that this medication is for this symptom, this medication is for that symptom.
Right.
But have they really studied, like, before they prescribe, why don't they look at what they've already prescribed?
Yes.
And see if what they want to prescribe is going to affect the other prescriptions they've already prescribed. That's the best thing to do first.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to end up as the patient going back and saying, well, I've been noticing this has been happening since I've been taking this medication.
Right.
So how about that?
Right.
So that this all can be resolved without
Right.
having to go back and say, well, these things are not working.
Yeah. Instead of getting to 6 to 14 medications that are taken throughout the day. That is horrible. So that's like phase 1. You also have the situation where when you don't feel well and you're like, I know I need help. My husband was like, I don't feel good. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, I don't feel good. And then he proceeds to pass out on me. So I'm not thinking about holistic medicine at this point. I'm thinking about Western medicine, how to get him to someone so that they can figure out what is going on, because he's unconscious. I'm like, honey, he wakes up. However, you get to the Western doctors and it's like they got a recording. They go into the certain mode of what they're doing. And you almost need a holistic person in your pocket to help keep what they're trying to do legit. So you don't just jump up and say, oh, my pain is being caused because of my back. So you just want to put me in emergency and cut my back open and tweak it. I mean, I've actually heard someone tell me that the doctor said that they needed to do what they called exploratory surgery, where they're going to cut this person's back open to go in and look at their spine because they couldn't figure out what was going on. So my philosophy is I would never let anybody cut my back. That's just too dangerous. Pain is one thing. You still have mobility with pain. If they cut your back and they do something wrong, you could have paralysis.
Yes.
So you have to really do your own research. You have to have your own advocate. And you also have to figure out, who do I go see? Because I don't know if you've gone to see a doctor recently, but like I shared, my husband was in the hospital, and now that he's home, I'm trying to schedule appointments with his regular doctors to reassess life after the hospital stay. And they're like, oh, I can see him in 3 weeks. He just got out of the hospital. That's not a good response for me. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go find another doctor. I know you can't be the only cardiologist on planet Earth. I can go find another one.
Right.
And amazingly, they find time for you. I don't think we should have to do that. And then, we have the other side where you're like, you'll say to the medical doctor, the Western doctor, I don't think I want to take the medication. I think I want to try an alternative. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll go see a chiropractor, or maybe I'll go see an acupuncturist. And then you'll get pushback of, well, they could cause more damage than they can cause cure. So once again, you have to do your research. You have to have some good due diligence. The thing for me is, who is going to have an appointment for you? Because amazingly, the doctors are so busy. I'm like, how can you be so busy that you can't see patients, yet you're in the rotation? So I said to one doctor, well, if you're so busy, why don't you stop taking new patients?
Right. And what did they say?
They give you that look like, what do you mean?
Can't possibly not have more patients than
Then
we
you
can
can-
actually service.
Yes, because it's just detrimental to the people, because when you are in an emergency situation, the last thing you should have to worry about is the proper individual that I need at the hospital to provide the service that I need
Yeah.
at the hospital.
Well, I did some little research as to why it's taking so long for us to get appointments with doctors and specialty
Right.
doctors. And I found out that it is because, according to white papers, more than 3,300 healthcare providers have left the workforce in 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And the physicians are representing the lion's den of this number.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's not only that, some of the reasons are one, burnout,
Mm-hmm.
and two, they're aging.
Right, they're aging out, and they don't like this new model of pushing pills. I know a lot of doctors that just retired. I mean, I have a godmother that is sick, and I'm trying, in addition to taking care of my husband, I'm trying to take her to the doctor. And she had a doctor, and she went off and had a baby, and she decided, do I really want that stress, or do I want to stay home with my baby? 2022, she did not come back.
Wow.
Another doctor, it's like, I don't like this new process. Now, someone said to me that a lot of this is because they monetize the medical industry. So you remember back in the day, it was, it was nonprofit. So say you went to the doctor and the doctor gave you a prescription, and that prescription was $60. And you said, oh my God, I can't afford that. The doctor could either find a pill that did the same thing,
Generic version.
a generic version, or they would figure out a way how to lower the price to $5. They don't do that now. They just quote it to you. One of the medications they wanted to put my husband on coming out of the hospital was $600 a pill.
Oh.
I'm like, you're gonna kill him. When you tell him that, he's just gonna fall out dead, because he's like, $600 a pill, minimum of 30 pills a month.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So
crazy.
that is also why some doctors are just walking
Well,
away.
in that instance, I would have said, well, is that the generic version?
Right, or is that the new version?
Right, I would like the generic, not the name brand version.
Right.
The generic. Please, everything is generic. So when you're like at a certain age, you're retired and you're not earning as much, those are the things that, even not retired, but especially when you're retired, when you don't have much to live on, if you're
Right.
living on Social Security, are the things that need to be the words coming out of your mouth should be generic version. All
Yeah.
the time should be generic, because I just don't understand why top brand names are just gouging people so much,
Yeah.
when generic version does exactly the same thing.
Yeah. They
Why?
came out this week with a new drug that is to help with Alzheimer's. It is to extend people's life and help with their cognitive skills. And then they come out and they say $3,600 a pill. I'm like, why create something that's supposed to help a person's life and then make it so expensive that they cannot afford it? I understand that some of this is tied into the Affordable Health Care Act and the fact that people are mandated to have insurance now. I just think that there has to be a way to take our hospitals and our medical care out of the profit margin and put it back into, a more compassionate, generic, non-profit margin of taking care and healing people.
Yeah. And on another note, when you say it's about the money side of it,
Right.
get this, a director of health, a doctor said in Scottsdale, Arizona, said, this is sad, but there's a little secret, a magic word and the word is cash.
Mm.
And they said that, this is quoting him, he said, if you just said, I'm cash pay and want to pay at the time of service, you're going to get a different type of appointment scheduling than someone that has XYZ insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
So cash speaks volumes,
Mm-hmm.
and offering cash means you move up the front of the line.
Yeah.
And then also a different price for cash pay service, even without insurance.
Right.
You pay less than you would going through insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that. I thought that they would, if they're paying cash, they would want to bump up the price so that they get more cash.
They will lower the price because they get all of their money.
But here is the catch, that there is a risk paying cash, they said, because anything you pay cash at cash price doesn't count towards deductibles.
Mm-hmm.
And this may be an option for initial visits, but if you have continued, when care is needed continually, then you find yourself back in the same predicament, waiting for an appointment covered by insurance.
Right.
So it's a catch-22. And I'm from the UK, and we have the National Health Service,
Right.
NHS. So you don't have to pay. It's not about the rich getting better service
Right.
and the poor. But there again, people don't understand that on the front end, it seems all fine and dandy.
Right.
But did you know that with the NHS, everyone can be seen, but it's just too many people to be seen.
Yes.
And I remember when I had to see the optometrist, when it was time for me to go and get an eye checkup, I would know that I'd be in the waiting room for 2 to 3 hours,
Wow.
waiting to get my
Wow.
eye checked.
Wow.
So it wasn't as easy as, okay, I don't have to pay insurance, I just go right straight in there and see. No, I know I'd have to wait. And there have been incidences in the news when they've been saying that people are so sick that they just die in the waiting room because it's just too long to wait for the doctors.
Yeah.
So both systems are not that great.
Right.
So we have to figure out a better way.
And, unfortunately in the United States of America, they don't value their seniors. So when you get to 65, whether you want it or not, they put you on Medicare.
Yes.
So you're on Medicare, on one hand, because it's a government mandated situation, they will, like this one lady said to me, a nurse at the hospital where my husband was, she said, if he was on Medicare, they would keep him as long as you wanted him here. But because it's an a personal insurance company, they're just afraid they won't get paid. So they just try and throw people out as fast as possible. So there's a whole lot to this situation. And we've just barely touched the surface. However, we're going to just kind of randomly, every now and then when we hear new ahas,
yes,
we are going to share them with you, because the people, we don't tell you about you should vote red, you should vote blue, you should vote Democrat, you should vote Republican, you should vote. And the things that you have to vote for is your local government. You have to make sure that the people you put in office at the local level is going to fight for you at the high level. And as you continue to age, when you're 16, 18, you don't care about a doctor. But when you hit 35, 40, 50, 60 and above, you're going to give a whole heck of a lot about a doctor and the doctor services that you will qualify for. So if you're looking at somebody and they're talking out of the right side of their mouth and you're thinking to yourself, that person's an idiot, make sure they don't get into your government, because that idiot will determine who and how you can see a doctor for medical care. I still believe that Western medicine is good. I just think that it has become too financially driven. So what I normally do is I find out what my doctor wants me to do, and I run to Eastern medicine to find someone who can help me identify the problem and solve and cure. When I was a little girl, doctors used to cure patients. If I got the mumps and I went to the doctor, they did something to cure me. I didn't have mumps for the rest of my life. When you go to the doctor now and say you have hypertension, you will have it for the rest of your life with Western medicine. They do not figure out how to cure.
How to reverse it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where you need Eastern. And, I was just thinking about that. Now that my husband's home, I'm like, I think I'm going to find us a Tai Chi class because I love Tai Chi. I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning when I would go to Monterey because they have it out on the beach and you can just like walk on the beach and just join in and the fresh air. But I think it's something where you're moving your body because that's what we have to do. Stagnation leads to serious medical issues. You must move. So we're going to stay on top of this. We're going to keep you informed. We would love for you to comment and share some of your experiences. Have you been in a hospital? Have you taken someone to a hospital? Was it good? Was it not good? Share, please.
Yes, we would love that. And put it in the comments.
Yes.
So that other people can see and we maybe start another dialogue.
Absolutely. Because this is important because I want everyone to think about, we're always talking about being grateful and kind and loving. So let's be kind and loving to the future generation. If we do not stop the chaos in our medical industry right now at our life, our children and our children's children's, as they continue to age, it's not going to be good. The service that they will receive will be worse. So let's stop this trend right now. That's what I want to do. So I don't know where you are in the United States of America or in the world, but baby, weather is still crazy. I think people are finally starting to come around and say, well, it's more than just weather. I might not be willing to say it's global warming. However, this is not normal. So right now in Jamaica, it is Hurricane Beryl. The winds are 140 miles per hour. I mean, we've had 60, 70 here and it was devastating.
Well, we couldn't even manage that. We can barely manage 20 to 30 miles an hour.
Thank you.
Here.
So 140 miles per hour. They finally issued the evacuation notice a little earlier today for people to get out. The weather has such extremities that it's just really crazy.
So if they're telling them to get out, where are they going to get out and go to?
Well, they need to get, apparently it's not all of Jamaica, it's a certain side and it's near the water, the islands.
Okay.
Because the water, you see the waves lapping. Just go away from there. Go somewhere safe. And when they say evacuate, don't be stubborn and say, I'm not going nowhere. Last time I went somewhere and it wasn't good. Make sure you're safe. If you're not going anywhere, can you get on the roof of your house and sit up there for 3-4 days? Can you have enough food? Can you take a bucket so you can use the bathroom? Think about these things before you get arrogant and start talking about what you can and cannot do. Here in Northern California, where we are, we've got wildfires. So it's hot too. So we've got a double whammy. So we've got a heat wave. Yesterday, we all experienced triple digits. And I'm like,
it was 100 degrees in the late afternoon.
Yes, which is not normal. Like we might be hot like 2 o'clock to maybe 4 o'clock. But by 7 o'clock, we're back down and it's cool. We have a breeze. We have oceans around us. So the water, the wind comes across the ocean and it cools us down. There was no wind yesterday. There was no cool down. I think it was maybe 7 a.m. and it was already 81 degrees inside my house because I don't have air conditioning. So it's hot. Then we have the Thompson fire. And the Thompson fire has already affected, that's in Oroville. And it's 150 miles north of San Francisco. So it's going up towards Yosemite National Park and the redwoods, which people get very upset if the redwoods catch on fire. And it's about 3,568 acres that have burned so far. They just sent an evacuation for 13,000 people. It's time for them to get out. There's a fire in Napa. So get ready, everybody. The wine for late 2024 is going to be smoky. That's what they call it when we have fires. We're going to have smoky.
And on top of that, there was actually someone going around burning fires in San Jose in an area called Communication Hill.
Yes.
So I don't know what that person was thinking, but
it's crazy.
It really is. I mean, we don't need those fires. Nobody needs fires, but to set them off
on purpose
deliberately is shameful.
So we are approaching, today is July 3rd, tomorrow's 4th of July. It's a holiday. Celebrate. Yeah, that's where I was going. I was like, a holiday to celebrate. And it's wonderful because it's celebrating independence. It is such an amazing time of the year to celebrate. And we have to also be aware, most of the counties in California do not allow fireworks. They are illegal. And there are some that have legal fireworks. So you think to yourself, what's illegal? Sparklers. Anything that could potentially start a fire. Because we're already hot, triple digits. We're going to be hot. This heat wave is going to last at least until next Tuesday. That's unusual for us also. We may have a couple of days and it'll cool down, and then it may go up a little bit and it'll cool down, but they're saying we're going to be high 90s to triple digits through next Tuesday. So you got the heat. Now you got fireworks going off. A lot of fireworks have been canceled because they're concerned. There are stadiums that used to do fireworks, but that means that they're going to land on grass, could catch on fire and burn. Maybe the ones out over the ocean, like in San Francisco, as long as the weather's good and you can see them, those will go forward. So instead of going out and buying illegal fireworks and shooting them off, why don't you just sit down with your family, get some popcorn, and watch them on television? Because a lot of people, even in my little neighborhood, I've already started hearing booms.
No.
So they're already, gearing
You're right.
up.
In the past, I did hear days leading up to it.
Yeah.
But not so much this year.
I think it's because it's hot. And I think maybe people are realizing, because we're seeing places where the fires are occurring, that they're regular neighborhoods. So be careful. We want you to have a fabulous 4th of July holiday. Just be careful.
Yes.
All righty. That is our chat for today. Thank you for listening to us. And now we're going to give you a little helpful tip. So my name's Gloria Webb-Williams. My company is Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural. I'm an all-natural mineral makeup manufacturer right here in Santa Clara, California. And the first thing I'm going to do is respond to a post. So last time we chatted, we talked about parabens and how they put parabens in cosmetic products to extend the life of the product. They're preservatives. And someone said, well, you talked about parabens. Do you use parabens in your products? No, I do not. I don't use parabens because I don't have to. I don't put things in my product line that expire. I feel like I give you more than enough time to use it up. If you don't use it up after, like the elixir, after 1.5 to 2 years, it's time for it to go bad. However, my powders, they don't have parabens in them because they're natural, pure products. They are pigments. They are iron oxide, chromium oxide, titanium dioxide. They are inert ingredients. So I don't have to put something to increase the shelf life. It's just natural. So some people have to use parabens because, Tyra Banks, what did she say? Every 2 months you should throw out your makeup. When you spend $85 for a foundation, that's kind of hard to just toss it. So I understand that. However, if you buy a natural product like I sell and I manufacture, you use it until you use it up. You don't have to throw it away. My lip balms, you use it, and if they smell good, they're good. If they smell rancid a little bit, that means it's extended its life. But I don't put a paraben in it to extend the life. I let my products live naturally, inertly. So I wanted to answer that for you. And my tip of the day is, in high temperatures like now, when it's hot outside, the chemical bonds between raw materials and, the different ingredients that they put in to make a product can start to break down. So if you say, for example, an eyeliner, you use a liquid eyeliner, be careful, because if they're out and about, they can get too hot. Mm-hmm. They can also, have you ever pulled a liner out and it felt like all the ingredients were on it instead of it being tiny, tiny, tiny? That's because of the hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. So just be aware of your products. Make sure you keep them safe. And if you're out and about, because a lot of people have them in their purses, and what do they do with their purses? They throw them in the car, in the sun.
Yep.
Just be aware of what's going on with your products. Gloria Webb-Williams, Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural.
Thank you for that. Very good. And keep those comments coming, because we like them. If you want to ask a question or anything, we'll be happy to answer it, and we will answer it in the next chat. So whenever you comment, we will answer in the following chat.
Yes.
So we love that. My name's Rosetta Chow, certified health coach, educator and speaker. And when I'm speaking, I'm always educating. And my tip of the day is, let's start getting our kids healthy at an early age. I always say, let's create, parents, mums and dads out there, let's create a healthy lifestyle culture within our family as a whole when the kids are young. This is no different than creating a culture if you are, let's say, Chinese, American, Indian, Hispanic, French. You create cultures because you do certain things within those cultures that identify with that culture.
Yes.
Like whatever you eat, that's part of your culture. Yes. Whoever you pray to, is that your culture? If you go to church, if you go to a synagogue, a mosque, that's your culture. If you have traditions within those cultures, that's your culture. You're creating a culture. Why don't we start saying, let's create a healthy lifestyle culture within our family?
Yes.
And that will actually teach your kids so that when they leave the nest, they are armed with things that they already do that become second nature to them.
Natural.
Yes, and I love to help families create that healthy lifestyle culture and implement that with practical tips and tricks and solutions.
Yes.
So it's easy to incorporate within the family, because I know it's hard when you have kids that are picky eaters.
Yes.
How can we get them to be not as picky? How can we incorporate those healthy foods?
Yes.
So when they're young, that's the best time to start so that they can pass this on for generations to come. And I love helping kids because kids are our future and kids become the wave of the future.
Yes.
So if we want to have a healthy society, it starts with our kids so that our healthcare can stop becoming a sick care and become a real healthcare.
Yes.
So I'm Rosetta Chow. I say your health matters, and so do the health of your children.
Yes. That's really, really important.
Yes, it is. Simply health. It should be simple. If it's not simple and fun to do, it's not sustainable. So there you have it, Rosetta Chow, Simply Health. Take care of yourself, everyone, and your health matters.
Yes. And thank you so much for once again joining us for our chat. Hopefully we gave you some insightful information to give you some aha moments, because I believe an aha moment will resonate in your life, because you'll just keep thinking to yourself, oh my God, I never thought about that. Oh my goodness, I never thought about it that way. So we hope we gave you some really good things to think about. We want you to know that we're very, very, very grateful for the time you spend with us. We feel the love and we send it back to you, bubbling over. And thank you for the opportunity to share.
Yes, and I'll say thank you again. Did we say thank you enough? Thank you again.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed our chats and the tips and tricks we give you, the health tips and the makeup tips.
Yes.
And if you liked our chat, please, what do we say? Hit the thumb icon.
Yes.
Please consider subscribing to our channel and hit that bell notification so you'll be the first to be notified when our chats are ready to be viewed, because we know you
Yes.
can't wait. So we are Silicon Valley Girls, chat over tea. And remember to always keep smiling. Bye. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Be safe.
Yep.
Have fun.